Hey addicts, welcome back. Today we're here with another comic review slash discussion. I'm so happy because this is the first time we've actually looked at an individual issue in quite a while. And I'm glad that we're coming back with such a banger, with that being TMNT, The Last Ronin. Now this is one, I'm going to try to showcase it as best I can. If the cover and whatnot is too reflective, I'll put in an image overlay. But this is one we've been waiting on a while. It got delayed several times, and I know this review's going out a little bit later than I would originally like it, but that's okay because these issues are releasing every 2 months, so it gives us a little bit of a buffer time before the next one. This will be a spoiler review, so if you haven't read it yet and you're wanting to stay completely spoiler free, I would click off now, go read it, and then come back. But we are going to just dive in here. Now, one thing I should note is that this is a smaller issue. I would say when I've been reading the other run of the IDW's TMNT, that's one thing I've noticed significantly, that the issues are a lot beefier. And with The Last Ronin, it is kind of the direct opposite. There's only 20 pages here, and I think the standard's normally anywhere from like 22 to 36 or 44, something around there. So a little bit smaller, but that's not to say it isn't lacking in the delivery department. So I guess to have a short little recap, or just kind of like premise starting for this first issue, this is centering around the Ronin, the last turtle that is in existence seemingly, set decades after the events of either the main series, which technically I'll be honest, I don't know enough of the original Mirage, the original run of the Mirage Comics TMNT, so this could fall more in line with that canon. I think I've seen people talk that it is related to that timeline. I've been trying to stay away from stuff like that, so I haven't gotten a concrete answer, but that's kind of what I've been hearing. If you're wanting to know as well and don't know, if you do know concrete evidence, just link it down below. But this is taking place decades into the future, so there is a lot of more sci-fi elements being emphasis on here. You have a mentioning, for instance, of global warming being a big effect on the current world, or the state of the water and everything around New York. You have hover cars around. You have cybernetic ninjas, or what one of the turtles calls the synth ninja, or synthja. That's a tongue twister there. But yeah, so seemingly the Shredder is control of the entire island of Manhattan, or at least the whole city of New York, maybe possibly the whole world. And you have the Ronin sneaking into the city to try to get revenge on the people who killed his family. Now, it's not who you might be expecting. It is not the Shredder, at least not the OG Shredder. It is actually I think they have the name here. It's Hiroko Hiroko. So that's actually not the Shredder's son, but the Shredder's grandson. So it would be Karai's bastard child, as the Ronin refers to him as. And we get kind of a sneak peek that he's the one that actually did the deadly blow on killing not only the rest of the turtles, but also Splinter. And so that's kind of intriguing information to learn, because that might be just a sneak peek of how badass he might truly be, or how dangerous he might be to the Ronin and the other allies of the Ronin in this series. We do have obviously an emphasis on hiding the Ronin's identity. He's carrying seemingly all of the turtles' signature weapons, as well as a couple new ones. There's a moment where he uses tonfas, which tonfa turtle, I like it. It's a cool new weapon to see the Ronin specifically use. But associated with that, he also is wearing a black mask, so there's really no indicator visually who the Ronin might be. Now, through the dialogue, there is, I would say, moments where Eastman and the other writers hint at who the Ronin is, and some parts I feel like are intentionally vague or misdirection, but I think for the most part there is seeds throughout the issue that really either give you good idea as to who it might be, and then kind of towards the end, before the reveal, who it definitely is. And so that is one that is really cool. So I guess since this is the spoiler talk, we will go ahead and say it. It is Michelangelo, which I think is actually really dope. I think that's probably the best choice. Throughout the beginning part of the issue, I was like, man, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking it's Raph, but I was like, like, for a big reveal and like keeping it such a mystery up here, like that seems like the obvious choice, so I don't know if that is, but I knew for certain it wasn't Donnie and Leo. But when we got to the end, there is a sequence, or I should say one page, that is showcasing a flashback of all the turtles together, and they're not wearing masks, but you can kind of see like the regular leather strips that they have like on their shells, or just like the way they're talking specifically in that scene, that there is, I don't even know if I've heard it in the IDW run, but I think I've heard it in like another TMNT iteration where it's like Raphael, I think it was, calling Michelangelo Twinkle Toes, and I think if I'm not butchering that, I'm pretty sure that's what it is back here. And I just was like, oh, so it's probably Michelangelo then. So I thought that was a nice little hint there that they kind of subtly hint at, or like kind of reveal. But then you get the confirmation at the very end of the panel with old April showing up and kind of saving the Ronin. Because as the Ronin is kind of making his run through the city, he's trying to get to the Foot headquarters, and when he reaches the tower, accidentally gets knocked off and injured in the process, which leads him to kind of, I guess, feeling like he failed but not wanting to lose honor. So you get him almost on the edge of committing suicide, but then I don't know if it's just out of exhaustion he's not able to physically do it, or it's just that he's like, no, this isn't what they would want, I'm going to find another way. I think it's a mixture of probably the two, but that's kind of how the issue runs down and finishes up. So it is not a whole lot of story beats in the first issue, but I really do like the pacing of it, and I really do like the focus of you know, the Ronin in this issue, more so just like the baggage he has, and seeing him also, you know, with the reveal of being Michelangelo, how much he's changed to the point where it's like, okay, some bad shit happened. And again, I probably didn't finish my thought, but I did really like the pick of Michelangelo, because out of all the turtles, I think his is just the most alluring at the possibility of tragedy happening, because of just the way they've structured Michelangelo and other iterations being like, you know, obviously the loudmouth, you know, spouting off things, but, well, you know, in like the comedic sense, right, always like pressing people's buttons and trying to get a laugh, you know, and some of the dialogue, but also just being a very vulnerable person, and probably the most intact with his emotions, I think, at least from what we've seen sneak peeks of in the IDW run. So, you know, I think those two aspects are just ripe with possibilities, you know, if he is the one that's kind of survived this tragedy and having to live with that. So really cool. I will say also, the art is fantastic. I actually wish this art was like the primary art for the IDW run of, you know, like the ongoing series that we've been covering, because I really dig it. There's a lot of panels in here that just look really nice, and I love the way that he kind of draws the Ronin here. I'm gonna try to see if I can find, I don't know, I might have to just insert for you guys, but you know, as well as there's just a really nice, I don't know if you're gonna be able to make that out. I'll try to put in some if you can't see it, but there's just really nice coloring to this, and I just love the overall color palette they pick for this kind of future dystopia. It's not necessarily like neon, but it's kind of got that, you know, a semblance of it, and kind of like the cyberpunky world that, you know, is typically in like dystopian future type settings. So I really do like that. Let me see if I can find a better showcasing picture of the Ronin here. Here, there you go. That's a little bit better if I can see it. But yeah, I just really dig his overall aesthetic, and especially the way the artist draws him in this. I do like it a lot. Now, the other thing I guess I would like to mention sort of in closing, because I don't want to make this too long of a video, but this is going to be a a limited series run. I believe there's only going to be 5 or 6 issues. So, with that in mind, there is going to be some leniencies. It's really hard to tell a story as it is within 5-6 issues with page numbers this low. So a lot of the depth or like possibility of going even deeper into like the characters or like the story or like just the world that they set up in this like alternate universe per se, that's going to be something that I'm going to keep scaled back in my mind, because from other limited series comic runs especially that I've read, there's no time. You got to press the story forward, and with that kind of background, I would say the amount he is able to showcase within the characters, and kind of taking, even though there's a very fast-pacedness to the actual actions of this issue, having a focus on the Ronin's inner conflict showcased, I think is a good balance, especially given that this is already like 1/5 or 1/6 of the story. Now, the only other thing I will say is I do love a couple of other moments where it's kind of at the beginning, seeing that there might be a possibility that the Ronin's not alone. He may have some allies. I think this was more so trying to throw fans off to the possibility of it being April and Casey's still with him. Maybe if you were looking at the dialogue specifically, maybe you would think, well, this sounds like the Turtles. I think at the beginning it was a nice little, I think people would pick up on it if they were really analyzing the dialogue. But for somebody that's maybe so excited that they're just blowing through it, I think that for those people it would be especially good reveal. But I do like the emphasis of kind of having the other brothers as ghosts and kind of rationale thinking in his mind, and just how that influences his approach in combat or the scenario. I also do like the switch up of weapons. It's kind of like almost in a sense honoring the other brothers that have fallen. So I really do like that showcased as well. You do get also like, I would say, Casey and April's daughter, offspring. We don't really know, but she is coming in as like a JoJo character. I felt like this was part 6 before my eyes when it came to her, just some of the scenes and some of the drawing, but we didn't get too much emphasis on her yet, besides her kind of bringing Ronin to April at the end of the issue. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Already this is kind of giving me the vibe of that one that one episode in the future of the 03 show. And so, if they do something, I don't want them to do something necessarily similar, because we already got that right, but I'm just curious to see, because I think this is just a really exciting timeline, or just like plot, or splintered off, if you will, story. And I think for those reasons, that's probably why it has been selling so well and people have been so excited for it. Other than that, guys, we will go ahead and just shut it down, because I've already gone longer than I wanted to. But I hope you guys enjoyed this small little discussion recap review. To me, this is a pure ecstasy. That might sound a little bit high for a single issue, but I just didn't have really one fault in it. Like I said, art was really fantastic. Presentation was great. I think for the amount of pages that they're limited to, and also just the shorter run, I think everything was done just the way it should. So I'm anxiously awaiting for issue 2. We will be back for that. Do check out our other review discussions of the other IDW run. I will link those throughout this video probably. But anyway, guys, that will conclude this, and I'll see you guys for the next issue. Let me know your thoughts of this first one down below. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. See ya. Peace.